Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a tutorial on how I created this beautiful flower wall. I did this just so that I could have a little bit of a more girlier, more feminine backdrop. So if you guys want to see how I did it, then keep on watching. Alright, so for starters, I went ahead and just took a short clip of all of the boxes that I needed. The largest one has my flower panels, and then the other two are my pieces of structure that we're going to be using, just to give you guys an idea of how much space you may need to dismantle your boxes. So the first thing I wanted to take out of the box were my legs. So I'm just going to use these basically to attach to my panel. This is technically optional, but I think it just added a great level of stability to my panel. So then I'm just going to start taking out my 3 grid panels. So grid panels are actually usually used for like retail. If you guys have ever been into some lower end stores or even some stores, this is what they use for like their jewelry rack. So this is basically what we're using as our main structure, and it is 6 feet by 2 feet wide, and I have 3 panels, so that makes our wall a 6 by 6 grid panel. So if you are doing this for an event or baby shower or something like that, this definitely should be more than enough space. So basically they have like a double line system, I guess you could call it, on the side of each panel, and that's what we'll use to connect our panel so that we have a solid wall. So my panels came with these grid connectors, and basically it's 2 pieces of metal bound by a screw, and we're just going to place the metal on either side and then tighten the screw. So once I have my grid panels attached, I'm going to go ahead and start to open up my flowers. So as you guys can see, the flowers come already adjoined on a plastic grid, and mine have both roses and hydrangeas. And I love the company that I got these from because I feel like they had a very realistic look. So what I do is I take 2 panels at a time and I adjoin them using the plastic grid. So the plastic grid has these little small circles. Basically one is a circle, and on the opposite side there's kind of like a stick or stem that you insert into the circle so that it's secure. So what I did is actually use the box that my panels came in, and I laid out 2 panels and then used that fasten, which is basically like a circle and a stick, and started to join my 2 panels together. I then took a mini zip tie and reinforced that fasten, or whatever you call it, and basically just made sure that my panels were not going to come apart. So I want my wall to be super sturdy. You don't necessarily have to do this step since you will be adjoining it to the grid wall as well, but personally I wanted to make sure that there's no way possible that my panels will start to come apart. So again, just a close-up of what it looks like when I take that mini zip tie and pull it right over that fasten. And this really did make my panel super secure. So after joining 2 panels together, this is what my sheet looked like. As you guys can see, it's super sturdy. I can shake it and move it, and it's not gonna come apart. So I already have 2 attached to my wall. What I'm now gonna do is take these next 2 and make sure that when I'm placing it, I'm tucking it underneath the grid below. After I know where I want to place my flower panel, I then take a zip tie and I go through the plastic grid on the back of the flower panel and then through our metal grid, and then I basically just zip tie it in place. You want to make sure you're really paying attention to your placement because it's literally going to stay put wherever you choose to place that zip tie. So I personally like to work from the left side and then work my way to the right. I found that doing it that way ensured that my panel didn't start to kind of roll or start to pucker out. I wanted to make sure that my wall stayed nice and flat. So the footage that you guys see now is basically me just doing as I explained, working from that left wall out. And as far as how many zip ties I used in total, I know it was less than 100 because I actually bought 200, but per panel or per side, I kind of just eyeballed it. So maybe I used anywhere from 4 to 6 per side, just wherever I felt like a little extra security or placement was needed to keep it where I wanted it to stay put, then that's how many zip ties I chose to use. So now, as you guys can see, I kind of decided to work a little bit smarter and instead of attaching 2 panels at a time, I attached 4. I found that doing it this way just kind of made it easier, because once I got to place the panels on the wall, I just had to zip tie from there on out. So basically that's what I'm doing. Just working from the left wall out, and as you guys can see, I am really taking my time placing them super close so that you cannot see any edges or squares or harsh lines in my flower wall. So once I'm all done placing my flowers, I'm just going through with a pair of shears and cutting off the excess zip ties. I just chose to save this part to the end just so that I could work more fluently. This is what my flower wall looked like once I completed placing my panels and cutting away my zip ties. So as you guys can see, my wall looks super full, and this is because I really did take my time and make sure I were tucking my panels so close to each other and zip tying them in place so that, you know, it looked nice and full. And as you guys can see, it doesn't even look like I used panels, okay, because you don't see any grids or any harsh lines. So now what I'm gonna do to make my flower ball a little bit different is actually add some light. So this is actually totally optional. I wanted to add some lights because I just wanted my flower wall to have a little bit of glow. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and add my lights. So these are the lights from Amazon that are basically kind of like string lights. So what I did was take that base line that all of the lights are attached to, and I put that along the top of my flower wall. And of course I use zip ties to make sure it's secure and in place. So then once I was done with that, I basically just removed the little tie that was around each section of lights and released them down my wall. And then I personally just use my hands to kind of tuck my string lights into and in between my flowers. However, if you would like to use zip ties, you are more than welcome to. However, like the weight and the I guess the depth of the flowers kind of keeps the lights in place, so you won't have an issue with these starting to move about or fall or, you know, move around or anything like that. This is what my flower wall looks like now that I'm all done, and I absolutely love the way it came out. So I feel like the lights added a nice touch of glow and dimension to my wall, which I love because I went with a all white wall just so that it could match with most of my videos. And I love the lights just because I feel like it adds some flair to the wall without adding color. So if you're doing a white wall or any color wall, I can definitely see how the lights will be a perfect enhancement. So this is pretty much the end of the tutorial. I hope that this helped you guys out. Make sure you hit that notification bell before you go. And of course, if you have not joined, make sure you subscribe so you are a part of the beauty family. So I love you guys all so much, and I will see you guys in the next video.